Hi, in this video I'm going to do an unboxing and product review on the Skygrand fitness tracker. Now you'll see on Amazon there's a variety of fitness trackers that could be classified as very similar. Now this particular one is called Skygrand. I'm going to unbox it. This is what the package looks like. It's very light when it arrives. If you're going to be getting this sent to another country, for example, it's 57.13 grams. It's just 14 centimeters by 3 centimeters by 8.5 centimeters. Alright, you'll get your quick start guide and your user guide. This is the wristband, just to give you an idea of the size. The thickness of this at the fattest point is 13.32 millimeters or 0.52 inches. The width at its fattest point is 2.58 inches or 6.5 centimeters. The length of the strap is just under 4 inches or 10 centimeters. And the other side is just over 3 inches, 7.7 centimeters. Right, squashing it in, the internal dimension is just under 2 inches or 4.8 centimeters. That is that width over there. The width of this is 21 millimeters. The mass of the tracker is 22.42 grams, very light. Right, this is what the tracker looks like on an adult arm. The circumference of my wrist is 18 centimeters. Just to give you an idea there. This is what it looks like on a 10-year-old boy's arm. As you can see, if you are buying this for a child, just consider that it is close to the minimum position. The circumference of his wrist is 15 centimeters. Alright, so here it is on a smaller child's arm. His circumference is 13.5 centimeters, keeping in mind that it does suffer a little bit from that problem. As you can see, there are gaps that are created. It does suffer from this problem on a small arm. I have an older generic tracker which was actually designed for children but also suffers from that same problem. You can see there it's on the minimum position and the strap here comes out over there. It does catch a little bit. Maybe not recommended for people with very thin wrists. Okay, I'm now going to explain how you get started with this tracker. Now the first thing you need to do is charge it. So what you do is you open, see that it actually says open over here. And effectively what you're doing is you're releasing the strap from the little body. You can see the body slips out like that. There is the USB where you're going to charge it, and you can see that slots in there. You can see there's a recess there where the USB slots in. As you can see, you can depress that, and to put it back in, all you do is you align that like that and you pull. You can see that there is a groove here for where the strap seats. As you can see, the strap is now seated, and if I pull it out, it comes out like that. Just having a look at the strap, I'm stretching it at least 10% more than its resting position, and it's elastic enough to go back to its resting position quite nicely. The feel of this strap is very similar to the Fitbit Inspire, so if you have got this one or you know of someone, you could compare these very closely. Right, just having a look here, they've got a steel spring pin. This does look like it's plastic, but I'm quite convinced it's an alloy, because when I file it, it looks like there is an alloy underneath. So this is a painted alloy. Now I'm going to insert this into the band here, and you'll see that in the band it's got a extrusion there which goes into the hole, so this doesn't move easily. As you can see, it can't move free of this part of the band because it inserts into the hole. Unfortunately, it is still a little bit loose, so I'll have to see when I train if this is useful or not. Alright, so now I'm going to show you, I'm going to charge this, connect it to the phone and get started. Right, now there are many ways to charge this. Maybe you have a wall plug that you can plug this directly into. As you can see, plug it directly into the USB slot. Maybe you don't, so then just use your cell phone charger, or if you've got a USB laptop charger, and you can see I just plug it directly into the USB 2 section. Right, so as you can see, it's at 85%. I'll wait a few minutes till it gets fully charged. Please note that when you do charge it, it must be on a 5-volt USB supply. So for example, a charger for a cell phone, as long as it is 5 volts, it is fine. It also specifies the minimum current, which in this case, it says 0.5 amps or 500 milliamps. Now this charger can handle that. Or if I plugged it in directly here, you can see I've got a range of 2000 milliamps. So 0.5 or 500 milliamps would be way lower than the maximum here. You can see that within a few minutes I'm already at 92%, showing pretty fast charging here. I'll just wait till it gets to the full charge and then I will pair it with the phone. Right, if you're using Android, you'll go to the Google Play Store and you'll be looking for an app called VeryFitPro. Okay, so that is how you spell it. If you're using an iPhone, you'll go to your App Store and you'll also look for the same app. I've already downloaded it, so I'm just going to open it now. Now here is the app, and at the bottom here you'll have it on device. And now what you'll need to do is you'll say bind device. So it's going to now look for any available trackers around, and in this case here it is, and I'll just say bind. And I'll just confirm the bind, and a little vibration took place. It went bzzzt in my hand, and you'll see the time and date will now be synchronized. Now there you can see it's 2:59, and there's the date 25th of August, synchronized to the phone. I'm now going to go through the menus of this watch, and then after that I'm going to go through the app with you. Right, to wake up the watch, you press over here. It's not a button, it is a touch sensitive screen, and there you can see the watch wakes up. You can also wake up the watch by using a wrist flick, which I'll show you how to switch that on and off. To navigate the main menus, you can scroll up or down. Right, you must be very deliberate in the way you scroll. For example, you can see I'm scrolling with a bit of vigor. Now, these are the menus. So let's start from the first one. You've got the training, then you've got the mindfulness, then you've got your notifications coming in from your smartphone, then you've got more, and then it goes back to the screen. If you scroll in the opposite direction, you can see it's more, notifications, mindfulness, training. So it depends in which way you scroll is which one of the menus you get to first. Each one of those menus can be tapped and you go through a sub menu. So let's go to the training. I'd like to go to the training. So you can see there it is. Now I tap on the screen, and if you look at the top there, you can see that I can scroll. But now look at that. You can scroll sideways and it rotates through the menus, the sub menus, and these are all the different trainings you can do. If the sport that you do is not listed here, there are additional sports in the app which you can choose from. The optional sports include tennis, football, climbing, spinning, yoga, and dance. Now, when you're in this, if you would like to start your training, you'll press and hold at that point in the screen. And you can see there, it counts you down and it is starting. You can see the heart rate monitor at the bottom there, getting all excited. And now, if I want to see my training, I just press at the bottom and you can see, look, obviously I'm not wearing it, so that heart rate is incorrect. But there it's got the heart rate and the elapsed time. If you look on the top left, it also shows you the current time. It is 3:59 p.m. Right, now by tapping on the screen, you can get additional information. There you go, calories. And if you want to end the training, you press and hold here at the bottom for quite some time and it'll count down. There we go. And it'll cancel the training because it was a short training. It says, do you want to save it? And in my case, I don't want to save it. Right, I'll just show you the training one more time. I'm going to do the run. And you can see that in this training mode, when I tap on here, I'll now get steps, calories, and I get the distance. You see there it says miles, the pace. Right, so what I'm showing you is that in different training modes, you'll get different sub modes. For example, pace, your average pace, and things like that, which may not be found in, say, badminton as a sport. All right, so now I'll just press and hold here because I want to exit this. And then it shows you this summary after your training. And you can see I can scroll through that and get my summary. Then I go back home. Okay, so you have the mindfulness menu. If I click on that, it'll give you some instructions in terms of well-being. There it's saying inhale 3 seconds, and it's got its own sequence of instructions for your well-being. Right, so I want to exit that. Good job, fine. And I want to go to the notifications. In my case, there are no notifications. You need to allow the notifications on your VeryFitPro app. Right, if I go to the more mode, you'll see I get 3 sub-screens. There you go. 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. Now these features are quite interesting. There's a power down button. You can power down your watch. Just keeping in mind, if you do power it down, you'll need to plug it back into the USB to restart it. You may even have to resynchronize it from your phone. Then you've got your heart. You can come there and switch it on. And if you don't want the heart rate monitor on, you can actually switch it off. Right, here at the top, you've got a moon, a half moon. That is a do not disturb feature. So if you switch that on, you can now see an icon there showing do not disturb. If I go here, this is a stopwatch, and there you can see the stopwatch going. And there are the logs. You can pause it and you can exit. This over here is quite interesting. It's a camera button, and when I press it, you can see what happens. It activates the camera on the paired smartphone. And if I want to take a photo, I press the button. It makes a sound, although it didn't actually take the photo. This is the clock faces. So you've got different clock face options. These are the different options, and I'll just show you 2 of them. I'll look at the analog one. There we go. It asks you to replace it. Yes, and that's what it looks like. And then there's this one. That's what it looks like. And while we're here, I'll just show you, this is the flick to turn on the watch. If I turn that off, you'll see that once the watch goes to sleep, I won't be able to flick it to turn on. See, it does not turn on the watch. While when I put it back, right, and when it's back on, the watch should turn on when you flick it up. There you go. You can also interrogate if there are any alarm clocks activated or set on your watch. In my case, there are no alarms set. Right, I am going to go through the app in detail, but I just want to show you one thing here in terms of the screen brightness. I saw quite a few reviews just saying that the screen brightness is not very bright. This happens to be the Huawei Band 3, and as you can see, it's got a very bright screen. If you compare it to the Skygrand, you can see there's a considerable difference. However, you can adjust the brightness, and unfortunately it's already at the brightest. But for example, if you want to put it down, you can reduce the brightness, and I'll just show you. There you go. It's going to reduce it, and you can see that it is actually even dimmer. All right, just putting the screen brightness back to full. There we go. If you enable it on your smartphone, you can see you've got a music control, and I'll just show you this working. Right, so there you can see I've got the play button. I press play, and you can see it's launched my app, my music app. And if you want to go to the next song, you can go back, you can go forward, and you can actually pause it. If you want to change the volume, you press and hold, and then you can see it change to volume buttons. And if you look on the display on my phone, you can see that I am effectively changing the volume. Okay, before I go through the app with you, I just want to show you the heart rate function. Here is the Skygrand, here is the Band 3, and this is the Fitbit. I also have a Polar chest strap, and I can sync the Polar to my phone. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the Polar as a reference. I've verified the accuracy of the Polar, so I'm just going to start the training. Right, I've loaded up the heart rate. There you can see the Polar is about 70 odd. Here the Skygrand 72. The Huawei is still getting it. Give it a bit of time. And there is the Fitbit at about 71. There is quite a lot of correlation between these 3 devices. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do some star jumps just to get my heart rate up and just see how the Skygrand compares. Right, so there you can see it has climbed. There we go. All quite close here. Okay, the Fitbit still on the way. 86, coming down here, 86.79. All right, so they're quite close. If you're interested in a detailed analysis of a comparison of these devices in terms of heart rate during sport, you'll see that video coming on my channel in the next few days. At any point in time, if you'd like to get a summary of your activity, you can just click. You see I've done 50 steps since I've worn it. Oh, look, calories are low. I've done 0.1 miles. How many minutes of training? Basically nothing. Okay, so now I've worn this watch for a day. I slept with it. And as you can see, I'm now going to synchronize it. And this is what I want to show you. Remember that the watch by itself just stores the information, but it requires you to synchronize to your app. So what you must make sure is that your app has connectivity. So you must have the Bluetooth on, and watch what happens. I just scroll down and then it says connecting, and you'll see this be populated shortly. All right, and there you can see it says refreshing, 17, 18. So what it's doing is it's getting the data from the last 12 or so hours of wearing the watch. Now there you can see, suddenly it's updated. You can see how many steps I've taken. If I go to the sleep, that was my sleep last night. So there you can see the graphing of the sleep, my heart rate. There you can see the heart rate, average, and it goes activity, sleep, heart rate. So if you have a look at the app, you'll see it's got homepage, details, plus device, user. So on the homepage is almost like a summary. This is, you see, it even says there your day. There you go. So this is a summary of data. But if you want to go into more details, as you can see, it's got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So as you wear the watch over the days, it will plot your progress. Now, in each one of these tabs, you get a sub-tab. So here it says heart rate. There you can see the summary in terms of the sleep. There you can see the summary, and then obviously the graphs, your activity. All right, so now if you want to see your device, and I'm going to show you this in a lot of detail shortly, you press on the device and then your user, and this is where you put your personal information. Now, if you want to start your training, you can either start it on the watch itself. So you'll come here and then you'll say training, and then you press and hold and it starts the training. But maybe you want to start the training from the app. Maybe the phone is in your pocket, or you want to use the GPS or something like that. So you'll say plus, and then it's asking you what you want to do. So here, if I want to go and do some training, there you can see it counts me down, similarly to how the watch works. And there you can see the watch getting all excited, and the training has started. And then you can see it showing you the location. All right, so I don't want to do that now. GPS is on. It's going to track my movement. I'm going to stop that, and I'm going to confirm the end. So what I'm trying to show you is that you may start your training either from the watch, or you may start it from the app itself. Now remember, you do not have to have the phone with you in order to do your training. You can do your training with the watch and then just synchronize later. Now, just in terms of the app itself, I just want to show you here under user, this is where you can set your personal information. Remember that your gender, your height, your weight, this is where you set it. And obviously this is going to be used for your maximum heart rate. Now, maybe you want to change the units. Maybe you want feet and miles and not centimeters, kilometers. So this is where you set that. Just keeping in mind that whatever you change here, you have to press the synchronize button so that it synchronizes to the watch. Now, just going back here, you can also see that if you go to device, this is where you can set up the parameters of your watch. So you can have your alerts. Maybe you want other apps to notify you onto your watch. Do you remember I showed you the music control? Well, if you press the music control, firstly you can switch it on or off, and then what is the default app that you would like your watch to control. So if I choose the music app, then what happens is when I press the play button on the watch, it will open this app. Maybe you use VLC, maybe use Power Amp. Okay, so just having a look at that, and then moving on. Here you have the camera shooting. That is if you want to control the camera from your watch. Then your heart rate detection, you can have that automatically. I suggest you have it on automatically if you wanted to have accurate sleep tracking. And then here it's got the wrist sense. Now if you look here, it says more. This is very important. Remember earlier I said that you can customize the different activities. Now, keeping in mind there is a finite limit to how many activities you can have. So for example, if I want to add climbing and treadmill, you can see that it's not allowing me to add treadmill because I have to almost deselect some of the other ones. Then I can add these ones. So what I'm trying to show you is that there's a limit to how many activities, but there are a variety of activities here which you can choose from. Some will have the default of GPS, as you can see, GPS on for these ones that usually relate to moving around in terms of geography, changing your geographic location. That's why the GPS is on default on. But if you want to do a workout and you don't want the GPS track, then you can just choose maybe workout or spinning or something like that. All right, time format. If you're not happy with the maybe you want military time, and if you're not happy with military time, maybe you just want AM or PM. Then there is also the language, and if you're not happy with the English, you can choose other languages as shown here. Heart rate zones, as I said, this is also age related. You can have custom heart rate, so you can choose it yourself and to say maybe you want to set your own maximum heart rate, or it will be set based on your age. And then the do not disturb mode. This is quite nice because you can even set the times. Maybe you want your watch to be blocked from getting notifications from 11 o'clock at night until 7 o'clock in the morning. Maybe that's the sleep time. Alright, so there's something called step length. You can calibrate this. This is the width between your front foot and your back foot when you are doing your walking. If you want to calibrate this, let someone watch you walk, or you could do it yourself and just measure your general width between your front and your back foot, and that will make your step counting more accurate. You can also do it with the running. Just measure your gait, and then you'll be able to calibrate the running for your app. Alright, I'm just going to give you my final thoughts, keeping in mind that I have used a variety of different trackers and been using heart rate monitors since the late 1990s, starting from the Polar and the Suntus. Alright, so my first thing is this watch is extremely comfortable. I really like the way it feels on my arm. I'm not somebody who actually likes to wear jewelry and things like that. One of my snags here is, as you can see, there is some and as embarrassing as this is actually dead skin. Now, no, I'm not a dirty person, but if you live in a dry climate, this is skin, and it's also dust. So what I notice is this particular strap has an affinity to picking up dust and debris. So you'll need to wash it quite often, as you can see over there. And if you're somebody who works outdoors, you'll find that this gets dusty very easily. This is IP68 rated, so you do not have to worry about having a shower with this. I wouldn't use this as a diver's watch, but there's no problem being in the water. IP68 specifies 3 meters of water resistance. What I do like about it is on this unit you can switch off the wrist tilt. Now on other units that I've got, for example these two, both of these suffer from a wrist tilt problem. Specifically this one, even when you switch it off, it still seems to come on. Now this particular generic one, the Skygrand, when you switch off the wrist tilt, it is off. And I like the fact that you can adjust the brightness, because yes, while it is dim in the day, and if you go outside it is pretty dim, and it's one of the disadvantages of this particular watch brand. I can honestly say that even when it is on this dim amount at night with the lights off, it is pretty bright. So it's nice that you can firstly switch it off and that you can reduce the brightness, although you have to do it from the app. Alright, something else is that the touchscreen sometimes is a bit finicky. Like you have to gesture quite vigorously, like you must mean it. If you want to press it, you have to mean what you're doing. And that is no different from these two premium trackers. So why pay more if the same problem exists on even a generic tracker? So what I'm saying is, while this is not better than these two, the Huawei and the Fitbit, it still has that problem. The touchscreen is still not, I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10. They have not solved this problem yet. And if you are someone who wears gloves a lot, then you can just see that it still works even with the gloves. So that is very handy to know. Something that I don't like is the actual LCD here. It's got a bit of a cheap look. It's almost like it's pixelated. Not that impressed with this LCD. You can also see the gaps in the numbering. Like it's got little It looks like a cheap screen, honestly. Now, in terms of the battery life, it's the last 1 bar. I have had it and been using it quite thoroughly for the last 15 or so hours. Would I recommend this product? At the moment, I would. Please look out for my videos on detailed analysis of the heart rate, and I will be comparing this while I do my training to other more premium devices. I did get this Amazon gift card in the package, and it says, congratulations, you are our lucky buyer. This is not from Amazon, it is from Skygrand, so it's actually from the merchant who supplied the watch. It says, if you're satisfied with our products and service, please write a fair review for us. So basically what they're saying is leave a review and then they'll reply with $15 gift card. I'm a little bit wary of this type of practice because when I went onto Amazon to look for a watch, I looked at the one that had the most reviews. Now I see that maybe that is a little bit manipulated because people are getting paid to do reviews. Doesn't mean that they'll lie, doesn't mean they'll give better reviews, but nevertheless, you know, one does say, okay, if there is 2 products on the market and the one has 10,000 reviews of 4 stars and the one has 500 reviews of 4 stars, one will probably go with the one that's got 10,000. Alright, so this brings me to the end of the video, and thanks for watching. Cheers.